Story time with Hoot and his solar fan hat. So before the season started, I got a lot of pushback because I predicted that Caitlin Clark was going to be in the MVP conversation. And she is, along with Enrique and some other players. But I also said, not long after, when Paige Beckers at the ESPYs several years ago called on people to leverage their platforms to give flowers to the incredible black and brown women of the WNBA, despite the flaws of the WNBA in the first 27 years, the flowers that they so richly deserve. And recently we saw that Angel Reese had a season-ending injury. Phenomenal year. And she has brought an awareness to this league in a different way to all these little boys and girls, not only in Chicago, but all over the country and all over the world, because of her authenticity and because of who she is. She also praised Caitlin Clark. If you missed it, they played together in the All-Star game. There's a false narrative that has been going on in the media with regards to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. The only comparison that you can make to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson is how they have single-handedly or double-handedly forever changed the way people see the WNBA, and that part is amazing. But because of the false narrative and the way that Angel Reese is portrayed differently than Caitlin Clark, it has caused a weaponization of this false narrative, and it's negatively impacted Angel Reese in a way that is unacceptable, and why I think Caitlin Clark needs to 100% absolutely speak out. And I'm going to explain why. You may disagree, but there's no animosity there. I wouldn't even say there's a rivalry with Chicago necessarily, even though there is a little. I would argue that there's more of a rivalry with Connecticut and Caitlin Clark and Dejounte Carrington, but I digress. But recently I saw both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese praise each other. Angel Reese praised Caitlin Clark basically in summary, saying that she's a great player and she loves her game, and Caitlin Clark did the same thing. It's unfortunate that she had a season-ending injury and she had a great year. But we've also seen Angel Reese talk about the racism that has permeated her inbox, where people have shown up and doxed her, supposedly, at her house, and this is unacceptable. Now, when I heard Paige Beckers, I think she was a freshman in college, have the awareness to talk about what she did and leverage her platform at the ESPYs, I was like, man, she gets it. And I said not long thereafter that Caitlin Clark was going to have to leverage her platform, and some people will disagree with me, because some people will say, well, look at Kamala Harris. She didn't even address the issue when asked in her first interview after the Democratic National Convention about her being called out about her blackness. She just moved on. But I think this is different. I think if there are fans out there that are claiming that they are Caitlin Clark fans, and those same fans are bashing Angel Reese for whatever reason, the color of her skin, the clothes she chooses to wear, the swag that she plays with, it doesn't matter. Then I feel like Caitlin Clark has to emphatically denounce those people. She did it before, but it really, to me, wasn't in a way that is truly denouncing things. That's my biggest issue, the same way that I denounce the Tom Bradys and the Aaron Rodgers and the Eli Mannings and the Peyton Mannings and the Tony Romos and the Troy Aikmans for ruining Colin Kaepernick's career. Now, we're living in a time and a day and age where Angel Reese is going to have a phenomenal career and nothing is going to get in her way. Not only because of her why, but because her and Caitlin are the faces of the WNBA. That's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. Two very different players. One black, one white. But I'm calling on Caitlin Clark and other white WNBA players, even if they don't have the influence and the impact that Caitlin does, to emphatically denounce any racist comments, any death threats of any kind towards Angel Reese. Now, truth be told, Caitlin's a great player, and she is going to make a lot of people very wealthy, and she has gotten charter flights for every team, and she's an amazing player. She's a 5-tool player. But she talks a lot of smack. She's not innocent in all of this. And she needs to come out and emphatically not only praise Angel Reese, but denounce anyone and everyone who is associating themselves, aligning themselves with her, and then going and sending N-word messages to Angel Reese and showing up at her house and making death threats. So, Caitlin, I love your game. I love what you're doing for women's basketball around the globe. It's unprecedented. There is a Tiger Woods effect that we've never seen before in women's sports. But you need to come out and say, I love Angel Reese's game. I love that she had an amazing year. I'm sorry her season is over. And look right into the camera and say, it is unacceptable, whether you're aligning with me or anyone else, if you are making threats, death threats of any kind to Angel Reese, doxing her, calling her the N-word, showing up at her house, or showing any type of racist behavior of any kind. I denounce it, it's unacceptable, and I won't tolerate it. Now go do the right thing, no matter which way you're going to vote. This is Hootie Hoop from the Sports Daily Podcast. Much love.